Hi everybody, so welcome to Arma Reforger, and I wanted to share a video about the new building mechanic that they've added to Arma Reforger. Now this is on Xbox. This is the experimental version of Arma Reforger, which you can get for free if you own Arma Reforger on Xbox, and just search the Xbox store for Reforger and you should see the experimental version and you can download it. And of course there's a PC version as well, so on Steam just go down to I guess you'd have to look in the Steam library for Arma Reforger Experimental. Not quite sure. It might even be in your library anyway as soon as you've bought Arma Reforger. But anyway, it enables you to play future builds of the game before they go to the main public version of Arma Reforger. And this should be interesting, or could be interesting, obviously to Arma Reforger players, but also to Arma 3 players, because eventually when Arma 4 comes out, it's going to be a it's going to be an iteration on this, isn't it? I mean, we've got a long way to go. But also, this should be very interesting to DayZ players, because although the DayZ version of the Bohemian Traxxas Enfusion engine isn't the same as the Arma Reforger engine, I think we would probably be a little bit naive if we thought that at some point these two engines are going to come together, and perhaps the mechanics that we find in Reforger we're going to find coming across to DayZ and vice versa. So what used to happen is if you wanted to build something in Arma Reforger and you had enough resources, you could only do it in specific locations around the map. I mean, there was hundreds of them, but what would happen is you would go into the build mechanic, and if you had enough resources, there would be like these red areas that would say you can put a small thing down here, a medium thing down here, and a big thing down here. In fact, I'm in a game of is it Conflict? Is it called Conflict? Can't quite remember. By myself. So what I can just show you is when you spawn in this game mode, you can build stuff around your HQ, or you can load up the kind of the supplies that you're given if you build a supply depot onto trucks, so you can go away and build stuff elsewhere, a little bit like in DayZ when you're collecting wood, and then you make planks, and then you get some nails, and then you can make walls, and you can make watchtowers and all that sort of stuff. So this is the way it works now in Arma Reforger. So we can only build within the influence of the base around here, and then if we go down to the bottom of the screen, I can then build an antenna, field hospital. I've already built a supply depot, so I can't build another one of those. Some living quarters, an armory where players can get more ammunition, a heavy vehicle depot where people can get armoured vehicles, or I could build fortifications, so bunkers and the like, or I could put in objects, so sandbags, anti-tank barriers, that sort of thing. So what we're going to do, let's put in a small bunker. So let's bring up a small bunker, and let's go across here, and let's put it here, for example. Now the tricky thing sometimes with this system is it's not always obvious which way the item should be facing, and I think that at the moment you can't change the position of something once you've placed it. So what you've got to kind of do is look at the picture on the bottom of the screen and think, okay, which way should it be placed? So then we can rotate it, and I think it goes round that way. And then all I do, press A, and then it's built. I think that's right. I tell you what, let's do another one over here, because what I want to show you is how it deals with inclines. So let's go. Let's build a small machine gun nest. See if it's gonna. There's probably too many trees in the way. Okay, so let's do that. And let's rotate it around. I think it goes that way, and let's place that there. Let's go back to being our character, and let's go and inspect our machine gun place. Now if you play DayZ, you'll know that when you build things, you've got to make sure you're on the level, you're not clipping through anything, unless you've got the server's got build anywhere turned off. And you can sometimes you'll build stuff, and as you're building it, like it will clip into something else. Okay, so I've placed this around the wrong way, my bad, but now I know which way they go. But as you can see, the engine, the Enfusion engine, the Arma Reforger one, does a very good job of matching the structure to the surface that it is on. As you can see, this is really, it's a wonky surface, isn't it? But it looks like we could use anything, couldn't we? So on the old M60 there, let's get out of that. So that's pretty good. Let's get up, look at we built this thing down here, didn't we? Now this is on the flat ground, so it's not too difficult. Let's see if I built this one round the right way. So this is the way in. And there we go. Yeah, that's round the right way. So we're looking down the track, ready to defend it from any particular enemies that come along. Okay, so as you can see how cold it is. Now, what I want you to imagine is you've been, in DayZ, you would have been collecting some woods and some logs and you've got them to a particular location. What you do in Arma Reforger is you get a supply truck and you back it up to a supply location like here. And then you go up to the truck and you load supplies. So let's load 1,000 supplies into the back of this truck. And part of the beauty with this game mode is that it is about supply and logistics. So when you're playing it for real, you're moving supplies up to the front line to build more structures to make it better for your team. So what we'll do now is we'll jump in the truck like so. Let's go to first person because it seems to work better to start. Let's start the engine. Off we go, back to third, and we're just going to drive down the coast a bit to get away from the influence of the HQ. And I'll show you how the building mechanics. So imagine in DayZ you would be walking somewhere with some wood and you've piled up the wood somewhere, or it's in the back of a truck, or it's in the back of a vehicle. I mean, we do have the M3S, don't we, in DayZ. So then we found where we want to start building our base. So we stop. Let's turn off the engine. Let's get out. Ooh, let's put the brake on. There is a handbrake. I can't remember how to put it on though. Let's get out. So now what we do, in order to build, we just go around to the back of our truck, because our truck has the resources in, and we go down and we say start building, and then we get this circle around us, so we can build anything within this circle. So now what we could do, again, what you would probably be doing is let's have a look. What would we build? You'd probably be building like what do we want? Fortification, a small bunker. So let's build our small bunker here. Let's turn it around that way. Let's put that down there. And let's put a anti-tank kind of roadblock thing there. Let's put one there. Let's put one there. And then let's also put see if we can get it the right way around this time. Let's get a machine gun nest. Where was the machine? I think the machine gun was on the left, wasn't it? So let's put machine gun nest there. So in DayZ, this would be things like shacks or shelters, or I mean, it could be anything, couldn't it, that the devs decide to put in. And now let's go back to our character, and we can see all these structures are now built in place, melded to the environment. Now obviously in this is Arma Reforger, so everything's a bit military, isn't it? But in DayZ it would be oh, I've put it in the right direction. So there we go, there's the machine gun nest. But you see how cool it is, how well it works, how easily it works as well. There's no running around trying to get the blue, would you call it the blueprint, the silhouette, the white bit you normally get in DayZ, to try and get it to match. Oh no, there's a rock in the way, we've got to build it somewhere else. And that's really, really cool, and it's really cool for Arma Reforger now as well, and bodes very well for Arma 4. The fact that when you're playing certain game modes, and obviously be up to the game mode that you're playing, you'll be able to, take the supplies to a certain area, and then you can make a operating base. You can make a bunker. Be interesting to see if they decide to put the ability to control supplies into smaller vehicles. I don't think you can at the moment in Jeeps and Humvees, or whether you might even as a soldier, or as a squad, be able to carry certain supplies as well. So you could go somewhere and set up a bunker, or really, you can imagine you could go up somewhere and then set up roadblocks, maybe more simple ones than that, so you could wait for the enemy to come along and then you could ambush them when they've got to stop to go around the roadblock. So there we go. Xbox experimental Arma Reforger, definitely worth looking at if you've got Arma Reforger anyway. And this new build anywhere ability, rather than just in the preset places, is fantastic and bodes incredibly well for Arma 4. And God, imagine if this was in DayZ as well. So what do you think? Am I barking up the wrong tree? Is this interesting? Is it something that you would like to see coming to DayZ, where you're building stuff, selecting items from a menu rather than kind of making a well, in DayZ we kind of put a kit down, don't we? Then you fill up the kit with supplies, and then you build it. Or maybe they could do it in a similar way. So you would get a kit and you would place it down. You would put all the supplies you'd need into it, so wood, sand, sandbags, all that sort of stuff, whatever that might be, and then you build it. But as you can see, the engine is so much better at making what you've built fit in with the land that it's on. So there we go. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon.